Well, homelessness and hunger have always been a heart-wrenching reality in our country, but since this pandemic hit, the number of families going hungry has been astronomical. Millions of our neighbors will struggle to put food on the table this holiday season, leaving food banks overwhelmed and volunteers working overtime. Victor Oquendo joins me now from Miami, where thousands of people lined up early this morning just to make sure that they could eat today. And Victor, tell us about some of the people that you met.
Well, we met people from all different backgrounds, those who have been hit especially hard by the pandemic, like those who have lost a loved one or lost a job. And then we also met those who just recently started relying on these food distribution programs. And then we also came across one couple who just said, look, we have a neighbor who's a little bit older. She's afraid to leave the house right now. So they actually waited in line for a few hours for her to bring back some food. We're actually at another food distribution site right now. This is outside of a church on Miami Beach. You can see a couple bags of food being handed away right there, but that's nothing compared to what we saw this morning in Miami Springs. Take a look at some of the video from this morning there. This was a Feeding South Florida event, and the organizers tell us that there was enough food to feed more than 4,000 very grateful people ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. Some folks waiting in line for hours there. Feeding South Florida and the parent organization Feeding America have distributed more than 4 billion meals since the beginning of the pandemic, but the need is only growing, and now they are concerned they won't be able to continue to meet that need for food. Kira?
And you're talking about 4 billion. I mean, how are food banks even keeping up with this demand?
Short answer, it's not easy. Feeding South Florida, for example, they have been holding daily food distributions since March. But back then, they'd receive about 160 trucks full of food per week. Now that number, it's down to about 14 truckloads per week. One more point that the CEO of Feeding South Florida told me was that part of the CARES Act, the food assistance program here in South Florida, for them, that runs out in just a matter of days on November 30th, and that will make their job a lot more difficult. Take a listen.
It's going to be difficult to continue this, especially as we see the CARES Act funding expire.
So what happens after November 30th?
After the November 30th, Feeding South Florida or Feeding America Network sister food banks across the country, over 200 of us, we're going to have to figure out how to bring in food and make sure that families have food on the table.
Yep, so they will have to get creative and definitely start relying a little bit more on donations. And if you're not in a position where you can donate money, you can always see if you can donate your time as well. A lot of these food banks across the country are looking for volunteers. Guys?
Amen. They'll take them. Victor Oquendo, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.